जय
रामाधव
कुंज
बिहारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी।
जय
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
यशोदनन्दन व्रज जन रञ्जन
नंदन व्रज जन रंजन
यमुनातीरावनचारि
यमुना
यमुनातीरावनचारि
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय
राधा माधव
कुंज
गिरिवरधारी
हरि।
जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी।
जय
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
हरि।
यशोदनन्दन व्रज जन रञ्जन
नंदन व्रज जन रंजन
यमुनातीरावनचारि
यमुनातीरावनचारि
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
हरि।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण
हरे कृष्णा
हरे
हरे
कृष्ण
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
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 हरे
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 हरे राम
हरे राम हरे राम
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 राम हरे
हरे
हरे।
हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे
हरे
कृष्ण
कृष्णा
हरे
हरे
कृष्ण
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
हरे
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 हरे।
हरे
हरे राम
हरे
हरे
राम
राम राम
राम राम हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा
हरि बोल।
कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण हरे
हरे
कृष्ण
कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा
कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे।
हरे हरे
हरे राम
राम
हरे
राम
राम राम
राम
राम
हरे
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 हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे। हरे
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 कृष्ण
कृष्णा
हरे
हरे
कृष्ण
कृष्णा कृष्ण
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 कृष्ण हरे
हरे
हरे।
हरे Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram Ram,
Ram.
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram
Ram Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada.
Jaya
Jaya
Prabhupada,
Prabhupada,
Jaya
Prabhupada,
Prabhupada, Jaya Bhakti
Bhaktivedanta
Vedanta
Swami
Swami
Prabhupada.
Prabhupada.
Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva.
Jaya
Jaya
Guru
Gurudeva,
Deva, Jaya
Gurudeva,
Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva.
Gurudeva.
Nitai Gaura Hari
Hari
Bol,
Bol,
Hari Bol,
Hari Bol,
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura
Hari
Hari
Bol, Hari
Bol,
Bol,
Hari
Hari
Bol,
Bol,
Hari
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 Bol,
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 Nitai
Nitai
Gaura
Nitai
Gaura
Gaura
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य श्रील श्रीमद चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय।
Jai,
Jai,
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य श्रीमद भक्ति वेदांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
Jai,
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
Jai,
नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत
Jai,
राधा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम मुकुंद राधा कुंद गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। श्री मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री मथुरा धाम की, श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा मई की जय, यमुना मई की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, वृंद देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय।
Jai,
वेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। गौर सितनाथ प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि बोल। Glory is to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the Hare Krishna. All glories to the devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Sri Guru की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
Narayanam Namaskratyam
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
ततो जयमुदीरये।
Tato Jayam Mudirahe
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
Nityam Bhagavatas Sevaya
भगवती उत्तमश्लोके
Bhagavati Uttamam Shloke
भक्तिर्भवतिर्नैष्टिकी।
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, titled Creation, Chapter 7, the son of Drona punished? Text 43. चासहन्त्यस्य बन्धनानयनं शति मुच्यतामुच्यतामेष रामणो नितरां गुरुः उवाच चाशहन्त्यस्य बन्धनानयनं सति मुच्यतामुच्यतामेष रामणो नितरां गुरुः उवाच चाशहन्त्यस्य बन्धनानयनं सति मुच्यतामुच्यताम् एष ब्राह्मणो नितरां गुरुः. What word equivalent?
अन्त्यस्य बधनानयनं सति मुच्यतं यसा ब्राह्मणो नितरं गुरु.
Okay, we will read the synonyms. Uvacha said, cha and, asahanti being unbearable for her, asya his, bandhana being bound, anayanam bringing him, sati the devoted, muchyatam just get him released, eshaha this, brahmana a brahmana, nitaram our, guruhu teacher. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. She could not tolerate Ashwatthama's being bound by ropes, and being a devoted lady, she said, release him, for he is a Brahmana, our spiritual master. As soon as Ashwatthama was brought out, she thought that a Brahmana should be arrested like a criminal, and for her in that condition, especially when the Brahmana happened to be a teacher's son. Arjuna arrested Ashwatthama, knowing perfectly well that he was the son of Dronacharya. Krishna also knew him to be so, but both of them condemned the murderer without consideration of his being the son of a Brahmana. According to revealed scriptures, a teacher or spiritual master is liable to be rejected if he proves himself unworthy of the position of a guru or spiritual master. A guru is called also an acharya, or a person who has personally assimilated all the essence of Shastras and has helped his disciples to adopt the ways. Ashwatthama failed to discharge the duties of a Brahmana or teacher, and therefore he was liable to be rejected from the exalted position of a Brahmana. On this consideration, both Lord Sri Krishna and Arjuna were right in condemning Ashwatthama. But to a good lady like Draupadi, the matter was considered not from the angle of Shastric vision, but as a matter of custom. By custom, Ashwatthama was offered the same respect as offered to his father. It was so because generally the people accept the son of a Brahmana as a real Brahmana by sentiment only. Factually, the matter is different. A Brahmana is accepted on the merit of qualification and not on the merit of simply being the son of a Brahmana. But in spite of all this, Draupadi desired that Ashwatthama be at once released, and it was all the same a good sentiment for her. This means that a devotee of the Lord can tolerate all sorts of tribulation personally, but still, such devotees are never unkind to others, even to the enemy. These are the characteristics of one who is a pure devotee of the Lord. Reading the translation again. She could not tolerate Ashwatthama's being bound by ropes. Being a devoted lady, she said, release him, for he is a Brahmana, our spiritual master. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanyamano Vishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yutapatakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalitam Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे यत्र यत्र रघुनाथ कीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तक अंजलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम्. Wherever the glories of Lord Rama are sung, with hands folded and head bowed in devotion, eyes brimming with tears of love, there stands Hanuman, the destroyer of demons. I bow down to Lord Hanuman. Hare Krishna. Good morning to all the devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. I would like to seek the blessings of all the senior devotees before I begin. And a very happy Ramanavami to all. May Mother Sita and Lord Ram bless us with strength, wisdom, and unwavering devotion. So in today's verse, Prabhupada is making an interesting point at the beginning of the purport itself. He says, as soon as Ashwatthama was brought before Draupadi, she thought it intolerable that a Brahmana should be arrested like a culprit and brought before her in that condition, especially when the Brahmana happened to be a teacher's son. So although Ashwatthama had committed an offense, because he was a Brahmana's son, Draupadi became a little soft-hearted with him. Now, I'm sure you all also must have had a few experiences, and I have had a few experiences in my life where just because I had a tilak in my forehead, I was treated with a lot of respect. You know, I even once got caught for overspeeding on the road in India when I was late. The police caught me, and the moment he saw me with dhoti, kurta, and tilak, he just warned me politely and just told me to be more careful. He didn't file any charges. And I also had another friend. He is a Sri Vaishnava, and he was working very late on the previous day. And in the morning, when he was going to the office, because he was working late, he felt a little drowsy, and then he slept for a few seconds. So the car just went the car just went and ran into a police jeep. Nothing happened to anybody, but generally, if you hit a government vehicle, you are put into jail. But my friend here, he is a Sri Vaishnava, and he had a Shika, Tilak, and all the Swarup. So the police did not punish him. They did not even file a case. They just said, you know, we will leave it in the workshop and you just bear whatever is the expense, that is enough. So in general, we see that there is compassion and respect for the Brahmanas and the devotees of the Lord. Well, I am not trying to encourage and say that, you know, we as devotees have the liberty to make mistakes, but I'm just trying to tell that there is some kind of a soft corner that people in general have when they see a devotee of the Lord. Krishna is seated in everyone's heart, so maybe he's influencing them to be a little considerate towards devotees. So here, Krishna and Arjuna, as Prabhupada says, they are going on the basis of Shastric injunctions. And what does it say? You can outwardly reject a guru or a Brahmana if they deviate from the Shastras. So what Krishna and Arjuna did is authorized in the Shastras. But Draupadi, being a good lady, that's what Prabhupada calls her, good lady, she was feeling more on sentimental grounds rather than Shastric. We also saw in the previous verse, the word used is Vama Swabhava, soft-hearted, kind-hearted. So Draupadi was Vama Swabhava. So she asked Arjuna to release him immediately. She says, Muchatam, Muchatam. She's saying 2 times, release him, release him. So she was more concerned about the custom than what the Shastras is saying. Now, when I was reading this verse, I was this Leela from the 10th canto. When Krishna and his friends were hungry, his friends asked them, "Oh Krishna, Rama, you are the greatest, you are all powerful, you can kill so many demons. Now we are hungry, so you please kill the hunger and you fill our tummies." So Krishna told his friends to go to a Brahmana's house where a Vedic sacrifice was being performed. The name of the sacrifice was Angirasa Yajna. So generally it is done to elevate to the higher planetary system. So the Brahmanas were in that particular mood. He said, because there is a sacrifice, there will be loads of different varieties of food being prepared. So he said, go to them and tell them that I'm hungry and we need food. Now, Krishna warned them and he gave them two tips. So he says, if you are going to go and ask the Brahmanas, you may not get it. And even if you are planning to ask the Brahmanas, he said, don't tell my name, but tell Balaram's name. Why? Because those people are strict Brahmanas and they prefer to give food only to another Brahmana or at least to a Kshatriya. So Balaram was Vasudeva's son. That's how everybody knows it. So he is a Kshatriya, but everyone knows Krishna as Nanda Maharaj's son. So he is considered as a Vaishya. So that was the first tip that he gave them. When you ask, you use Balaram's name, but not my name. And the second tip that he gave was, if they reject your request, go straight to the wives and tell them Krishna and Balaram are hungry. They will give for sure. So the cowherd boys, they did the same. Just as told by Krishna, the Brahmanas rejected the request. They told them to go away because the food cannot be given to them until it is offered in the sacrifice. They said all the devatas have to eat and then only you can get it. So the boys then went to the Brahmana Patnis, the wives of the Brahmanas. And the moment they heard the names Krishna and Balaram, they just got mesmerized and they immediately and then gave it to them. Remember, this has still not been offered in the sacrifice. So the ladies, they're going to get into trouble if they give that food to Krishna and Balaram now. But in spite of that, they are not being well versed with the scriptures like their husbands. Still, they knew Vedaisya Sarve Aham Eva Vedya. The purpose of whole Vedic injunction is to know Krishna, then Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. Krishna is the ultimate enjoyer of all sacrifices and austerities. They did not read the scriptures, but acted out of love and compassion towards Krishna and Balaram. So we can see in general, the women are influenced by compassion and custom more than Vedic injunctions. So here, Draupadi knows Shastras very well. She knows that Ashwatthama, although he is a son of their guru, he has disqualified himself from that position, but still her intelligence was overpowered by sentiment. So Prabhupada tells in the end, but in spite of all this, Draupadi desired that Ashwatthama be at once released, and it was all the same, a good sentiment for her. And why is that? Hare Krishna, can you please go on mute? I'm able to hear voices. Yeah, it was a good sentiment for her. And why is that? Because she is Vama Swabhava. She is kind-hearted, soft-hearted. So Prabhupada, in this context, also brings about the point that because women by nature is soft-hearted, they must be protected and given proper training. Just like how a Brahmana or Kshatriya or Vaishya must be trained, men and women should also be trained. Men should be trained on Shastras, and women should be trained on how to be a chaste wife and a loving mother. And even when Bhishma Dev was in the bed of arrows, Sarasaya, so the Pandavas, they took many advices about politics, sociology, Avad Dharma, all the different kinds of Dharma, what's a king's duty, everything was taken. And in that instruction, Bhishma Dev also confirmed the Vedic injunction that women should always be protected very carefully. He says that a society that disrespects women will perish. And it is the responsibility of the women to also keep up that respect, to gain that respect. And Prabhupada says there is one quality of shyness in women. If you break the shyness of a woman, it will be very dangerous. Prabhupada is saying that. And he especially refers to the situation in the Western countries where girls, when they become 15 or 16, alone, stranger. So they consider that freedom, but that is not a recommended practice. Prabhupada says that if this is not dealt properly, there will be no peace in the family. And peace is an important requirement to make a spiritual progress. Prabhupada was quoting Mother Parvati, she's asking Lord Shiva, which worship is the best worship? And Lord Shiva says, Aradhananam Sarvesham Vishnor Aradhanam Param. Worship of Vishnu is the best worship. And we won't be able to do that worship if we don't have peace in the family. And if you want peace in the family, then men and women should be engaged in their occupational duty. Moving on. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Another point that Prabhupada brings in the purports is how the caste system is viewed in the current situation. He says generally the people accept the son of a Brahmana as a real Brahmana by sentiment only. So that is what is happening in the world today. So people are fighting against the caste system, fighting for equal rights, etc. And it is all because the concept of a caste system has been thoroughly misunderstood and misinterpreted. So Krishna says in Gita, Chatur Varnyam Maya Shrishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasaha. He says the four divisions of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra were created by me. And it based on the three of material nature and the work ascribed to them. So the world may think that caste system is abolished, but here Krishna is saying that it was created by me. And if it is created by Krishna, then it is not something that can be abolished. Either it exists in the original form or in a degraded form. But we see in our daily life, every society, there is an intelligent class of men, there is an administrative class of men, mercantile class, then there is a mercantile class, which is a businessman, and then a labor class, is worker. So you cannot avoid that. So here, just because someone is born in a Brahmana family, that does not make him a Brahmana. That is a point that is being made here. He has to work for it, get qualified as a Brahmana. That is the misunderstanding that is prevailing in this world. People assume themselves to be a Brahmana, higher caste, etc., because of their birth. Just like how a doctor's son, the famous example, just like how a doctor's son cannot be a doctor by birth, but he has to study and qualify himself to be a doctor. Prabhupada gives the example of a Supreme Court judge. So a son of a Supreme Court can maybe call himself as a son of a judge, but he cannot be called as the Supreme Court judge himself unless he studies the law and qualifies himself. Now, people may think, how can we compare to caste system? That profession, but this is something else, this is like a system. But Krishna says, Guna Karma Bhagava. Karma means work. So whatever work they are doing as a doctor, you do your work as a medical man. So you can be called a doctor only if you do activities of a doctor. If you are a doctor's son and you are building factories, I cannot call you a doctor. So similarly, you can be called a Brahmana only by the work you are doing and not based on your birth. So that's to understand. Next question is, what is the work of a Brahmana? We say it has to be work. And now, what is the work of a Brahmana? We get this knowledge from the Shastras. Padma Purana says, Satkarma Nipuno Vipro Mantra Tantra Visharada. So Satkarma means 6 businesses of a Brahmana. Now, what are the 6 businesses of a Brahmana? Patana, Patana, Yajana, Yajana, Dhana, Pratigraha. So Patana means study the Vedic scriptures. Patana means teach the Vedic scriptures. Yajana means you have to perform Vedic rituals at home, worship deities. Yajana means you have to officiate, you have to act as a priest. Dana means this signifies giving charity or alms. Pratigraha means accepting charity from others. And in addition to this, Krishna also gives description on the qualities of a Brahmana, which Ramnath Singh Prabhu also mentioned in the previous class. Chapter 18, text 42. Shamo, Tamas, Tapa, Shaucham, Shanti, Arjavam. So, a lot of qualities mentioned here: peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmanas work. So if you are able to qualify yourself to do all these, then yes, you can be called a Brahmana, not just by birth. Okay, so here in this verse, Queen Draupadi says, Brahmano nitaram guruhu. She says Brahmanas are our guru. Why did she say that? Because generally out of the four orders of the society, which is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, the Brahmanas are considered as guru. So he's the intelligent class who instructs the other classes of men. And then he shows an example on how to live a simple and a sinless life. So we saw Sat Karma Nipuno Vipra. He is an expert in all the 6 businesses. We saw Patana, Patana, Jajana, Jajana, etc. Next is Mantra Tantra Visharada. Yeah. Mantra Tantra Visharada means he is an expert in chanting the Vedic hymns and executing all the tantras and so many things. But the key point here is the next line, which is Avaishnavo Gurur Nasyat. He may be a Brahmana, but if he is an Avaishnava, meaning one who is not attached to Vishnu, or one who does not follow the instructions of Krishna, then Gurur na syad. He cannot be considered a guru. And who can be a guru? Vaishnava Swapacho Guru. Swapacho means a dog eater family. So even if he is from a dog eater family, if he qualifies himself and he becomes a Vaishnava, he can be a guru. Swapacho means dog eater. You also see a similar word in Bhagavad Gita. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Sunichaiva Swapa Kecha Pandita Samadarshina. So Swapacho means a dog eater. Even if someone is born from a dog eater family, if he has become a Vaishnava, then he can be a guru. Now, these are who is a Brahmana. The next question is, who is a Vaishnava? These are who is a Brahmana. So, who is a Vaishnava? We say that he is higher than a Brahmana. He can become a guru. So, how do we find a Vaishnava? For that, we take instructions from Chaitanya. So, he is giving 3 classifications of Vaishnava. He says Vaishnava, Vaishnava Tara, and Vaishnava Tama. So, first we will see who is a Vaishnava. Is Atevayan Rimuke Eka Krishna Nama Seta Vaishnava Karihatan Rasamana. So one who chants the name of Krishna even once is a Vaishnava, possessed of Vaishnava qualities. Therefore, you should show all respect to him. And who is a Vaishnava? Krishna Nama Nirantara Yahar Padane Se Vaishnava Tara Bhajatan Racharane. So one who incessantly chants Krishna's name is a Vaishnava Tara, possessed of Vaishnava qualities to a profound degree. And one should render service to his lotus feet. So Prabhupada focuses on this word Nirantara. So there are quite a few meanings for this word. So Antara means interval, and Nirantara means without any interval. So a Vaishnava Tara glorifies the Lord, chants the holy names of the Lord. And what this means is when you are in the process of devotional service, there will be a lot of hindrances, but you should do your service without any distraction. Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kuru nandana. With one pointed attention, you have to do your service even without any intervals. And also Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam Bhakti Ruttama. Do it without any ulterior motives. Shunya means zero. So Mayavadis make Krishna zero, but devotees make Abhilasha zero. Their personal motivations zero. Anyabhilashita Shunya. Now the same word Nirantara is also telling what are the various distractions that we should stay away from. So first Nirantara is without interval. And why without interval? Because you may be presented with hindrances that can create gaps or intervals in your bhakti process. So we should perform service nirantara. What are those hindrances are also hidden in the same word. So Prabhupada says antara can be considered as a body. So this body is an impediment to self-realization because it's wanting to be engaged in sense gratification. Similarly, antara means money. If money is not used, it is also an impediment. And Antara also means Janata, people in general. So the association of ordinary persons may destroy the principles of devotional service. And similarly, Antara may also mean greed, greed to acquire more money or enjoy more sense gratification. Finally, the Antara may also mean atheistic ideas. Oh, this deity in the temple, it is just made of stone and wood. Why are you people going there and praying in front of it? We generally get this statement from the atheists. So all of these, Prabhupada says, are impediments. The deity in the temple is not material. He is the supreme personality of Godhead himself. In fact, even if you consider the spiritual master an ordinary human being, that is also an impediment. If you consider a Vaishnava to be a member of a particular caste or a nation, so he's an Australian Vaishnava, he's an Indian Vaishnava, he's an American Vaishnava. So that is also unconsciously, it is a display of what you feel from inside. You may not consciously be doing that, but unconsciously, it is the feeling that you have inside. And Charanamrita should not be considered an ordinary drinking water. And holy name of the Lord should not be considered an ordinary sound vibration. We saw in one of the offenses. Finally, Lord Krishna should not be looked at as an ordinary human being or a demigod. I once had a Bhagavad Gita on my desk in the office because I wanted to give that as a gift to one of my colleagues. One of the colleagues, one of my other colleagues, she came and asked, "What is that?" She is a Hindu by birth, but still she did not know what is a Bhagavad Gita. So if anyone is going to tell her, "Oh, Krishna is just a normal human being with some mystic powers and he's a demigod," she will just believe them. So that knowledge is actually missing. The next one is moving on to Vaishnava. So here Mahaprabhu says, "Yahara dashane muke aise Krishna nama, ahare jani tumi Vaishnava pradana. Krama kari kahe Prabhu Vaishnava lakshana, Vaishnava Tara Ara Vaishnava Tama." So he says, one who inspires others to chant Krishna Nama merely by being visible to them is Vaishnava Tama and is the topmost Vaishnava. So like this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained the different grades of Vaishnavas in the sequence. Those who are Vaishnavas, those who are Vaishnava Tara, and those who are Vaishnava Tama, based on the symptoms that each of them exhibit. So from the scriptures, we can understand Brahma Janeti iti Brahmana. One who understands Brahman and possesses all these qualities that we saw is Brahmana. But one who understands Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, a Vaishnava. So in the context of today's verse, you may have a question, but Draupadi was the one who said, "I'm going to fast till Ashwatthama is being killed." And she was also furious because, her sons were all killed. But then how come she suddenly changed her tone? Suddenly she's telling, let's forgive him. So Prabhupada says this displays Draupadi's depth of character. He says at the end of the purport, a devotee of the Lord can tolerate all sorts of tribulation personally, but still such devotees are never unkind to others, even to the enemy. These are the characteristics of one who is a pure devotee of the Lord. So here Draupadi is acting with maturity. She is able to see from the shoes of Kripi. Ramasingh Guru mentioned in the last class, Ashwatthama's mother, what grief she will feel if Ashwatthama is killed. So she doesn't want to trigger another cycle of violence again. So when you are in grief, you can demand justice. Oh, I need to be avenged, kill everyone who did this, etc. You can demand justice, but the lesson here is, although you may demand justice, for a devotee's life, compassion ultimately prevails. Hare Krishna. I will stop here. Om Tat Sat. And let's have some reflections, feedback, or questions. Hare Krishna. Are you able to hear me?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, thank you for the beautiful class. As always, very, nicely explained, and thank you. Prabhu, just like about the importance of how you mentioned so many important instances that so also like about women protection, this as well, and how like naturally soft hearted. Then I was thinking like maybe because nowadays like women don't see any protection, then they probably have to be what call not that much soft hearted anymore. That is not very good quality. This is also something that kind of degradation. I was thinking it's and then but what is the remedy for that? It's kind of I mean, obviously we see it's so different from devotees. Is so different, right? We feel so much protected. We don't have to worry about anything. But like in that world, it's not like uh, almost never peaceful, right? So uh, I was thinking someone, I think one senior devotee lady, she was saying that being born in a women body, it's good, but also like so much more. What is it? 9 times more. What do you call that? Like being afraid of everything. So much, so much. And then I was thinking, what is the, you know, that is a bit unfortunate. I was thinking how we should be helping so that the the whole world can be Krishna conscious. Otherwise, we meet so many like in even in Reading University. Uh, like how they, not just ladies, like mostly so much anxiety they have these days. And I was thinking how much we then fortunate to have this Krishna consciousness society that we feel much more protected than sorry I'm talking a lot, but what's your view
No,
on this?
Mataji,
Thank you.
the best part about your question is you give the answer also, makes it very easy for me. So you have the you gave the answer, is to make sure that we bring spirituality into the whole world, make them realize that if you have a spiritual angle, the way we look at women will be completely different. It will be with a lot of respect. Now, there is a real life example that I could see in where you have heard of the village near Mumbai where Radhanath Swami Maharaj, Govardhan Eco Village. You heard of Govardhan? Yeah. So we went there for a retreat, and late in the night, about 8:30 or 8:45, my wife was walking alone in that path from the guest house to the temple to see the Shayanarti. And generally she's very cautious when she's going on the road looking around, and then she always there is just some kind of an anxiety in her mind that somebody is following her, or generally women have that. But she said that when she was walking at 9 o'clock at pitch dark, there was a devotee who was coming in the front. The moment she saw the kantimala and the tilak, she was not at all anxious. She felt very safe. That I'm pretty sure this fellow will not do anything. This devotee will not do anything to me because he is a devotee. So I think that is where we all have to move towards, and that is what Prabhupada is also trying to do. Um, Women, when Prabhupada says women should be protected, there were a lot of people who criticized him by saying that this is just a product of the cultural background that Srila Prabhupada was brought up in. In the 19th century Bengal, early 20th century, morals and values. So Indian society was like that. They were suppressing women. So Prabhupada is also reflecting that. And so when there was a meeting where they wanted to ask this question to Prabhupada, the reporters, and they made sure that every single person in that room who came with the reporter, the cameraman, everybody, they brought women just to prove a point to Prabhupada that women are not like what you think. They are much more advanced in thought, and they are very bold and brave. And they ask the same question to him: what do you think women are less intelligent and they should be protected? Prabhupada said, I'm sorry if you are offended, but yes, women should be protected. So he was bold. Why? Because that's what the Shastra says. He says, why are you discriminating? Prabhupada says, I am not discriminating, but nature is discriminating. There are different ways in which women handle stress and men handle stress. Bodily features, there are differences. So you cannot avoid the fact that women are different from men. So you cannot ask for equal rights when nature itself has discriminated. But does not mean that women has to be suppressed, but they have to be protected. Just like a child, when it wants to cross the road, you catch the hands and then you cross the road. Does not mean that the child is not intelligent. It's just that it needs some protection. Similar to that, when women should be protected, he actually means that give them proper knowledge so that they feel protected, and make sure that the freedom that is given is actually restricted. Just restricted freedom, not just don't give freedom, just restricted freedom.
Yes, Prabhuji. Actually, I will agree. Before I was thinking, what is this meaning, to be honest? Like, how is it? And then I realized it's not because, less intelligent or something. Absolutely not. It's because, as, how Prabhupada said earlier, because of naturally being soft-hearted, then it's much easier to trick them. Okay, something is okay. Like how they can say, okay, even come to the street and say, oh, something is wrong here. Can you help me or something? Then she will naturally, okay, what happened? And then she doesn't know like how she can be tricked. So yeah, that is because she can be misused because of the naturally being, trusting easily. That is not because of less intelligent or something, not just like that. And we can see from devotees so much protection, and this is very important. I will agree with this. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Mataji.
And
And
about
also,
hmm,
sorry, go ahead, Mataji.
just about the so much importance how our guru said as well, like making the whole world Krishna conscious, and then that is probably most important. Otherwise, all the time anxiety. Yeah, only remedy. Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. And also in the previous verse, in the purport, in towards the end, Prabhupada said, but we should not give up our reason and discriminatory power just to be gentle. One must have good discriminatory power to judge a thing on its merit. We should not follow the mild nature of a woman and thereby accept that which is not genuine. So by knowledge, I think we can definitely get that discriminatory power. When to be gentle, when not to be gentle. And Ramnath Singh Prabhu gave a beautiful point last class. He said, especially when you are in the management of ISKCON or management committee, you cannot allow your gentle nature to actually overcome the discriminatory powers. If you have to be strict, you have to be strict.
Yeah, that's another point that quite important. Because sometimes it's difficult, no, like to distinguish. Should I be kind now, or should I
Yeah.
actually do my duties? This or like, this is.
Thank you, Mataji. Thanks.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Let's see if anyone has any more questions.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji. So I have a questions now, Prabhuji.
Sure, Prabhu.
We'll see the message in by that time. Yeah. It's a very beautiful class, and my question on this is here, like Draupadi though got a tough situation here, even though she got, but she came out of that shadow, and she's saying to not to punish. Yeah, not, I mean, like she said, to release. So, Mela, like what sort of like work it could be? Like as you have learned, like it's karma, vikarma, akarma, the three kinds of karma. So in this context, like what kind of karma it could be?
For her to say
Yeah.
release him,
Yes.
will it even fall under these three categories? I don't know, Prabhu. I am not very clear. But in the previous verses, we see that Krishna is telling, kill him, kill him, kill him. But that particular statement was just a test. So Krishna is seated in Arjuna's heart. He is giving the intelligence to discriminate what is good and what is bad and what is right and what is wrong. Um, so Arjuna did not kill him. Although Krishna said kill him, Arjuna did not kill him. So Prabhupada says it is because Krishna is testing him. So for Draupadi also, probably this is a test, to see if she is going based on her natural way, or is she going with her vengeful topic. But whether it is karma, akarma, vikarma, I'm not very sure. I'm not sure if I can even relate it to that. If you have any, if you had any thoughts, please do let me know. I mean, what exactly are your thoughts?
No, sorry, Prabhuji, I don't have. I am not able to think like how what could be, because this is something very tough situation, even if for the small matters which happens in our day-to-day life, even handling those situations are quite challenging. And considering the challenge which has been tested by Krishna to Draupadi herself, is a, it is like nowhere it is no, it can't be comparable or even thoughtable. So that's where yeah, even I don't have any connection, but probably yes. Yeah, need to meditate upon like how to face those situations.
Prabhupada gives the example of and not Prabhupada, but senior disciples of Prabhupada. So when you are standing in front of a tall building, let's say Burj Khalifa thing, you see that to be so big and
Right.
so bigger than you, and you are so amazed. But then when you are traveling in an airplane and seeing Burj Khalifa, it's like a small needle, from the top of it. So whenever there are challenges, material challenges in life, the suggestion given is you have to read all these Bhagavatam scriptures, etc. Mature. You should get that maturity to see. You should transcend all these challenges and see from the top, from a spiritual plane. If you see all these material problems, it will look very insignificant, and you can easily overcome. You can easily deal with those challenges.
Wow. Yes, that is really consensual and very nice to implement this actually. I mean, um, if these thoughts comes, yeah, definitely it also helps to mitigate those challenges. Yes, it is correct. And probably the second question is, as you have discussed about the categories like Brahmana, I think you have not, have you covered Kshatriya and Shudra?
Yeah, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra.
Right, probably. So all the human beings is categorized on the in these four buckets, you can say.
Correct.
Right. So, and is it like based on the work or duty which you perform is aligned to these varnas?
Yes, Prabhu, you're perfectly correct. Guna, karma, vibhagasa, based on your quality and the work that you do, you can be categorized according to this. And the problem now is, for example, if any of this is actually intermingled, okay, by nature, Ambani is a businessman. But if you make him a politician, it is bad, because his nature is business. He may be called a politician, but what will he do? He will try to sell India only, or sell, because his mindset is always business. So Ambani is best as a Vaishya. So he is a businessman. A politician should be someone who has got good administrative capabilities. So if you mix both these, then that is where the problem is actually coming. So people call themselves Brahmanas when they are actually not qualified themselves as a Brahmana. And that is why people are actually suppressing Brahmanas and saying they are bad, etc., is because of unqualified Brahmanas. So to answer your question, yes, for all the people in the world, you can classify them into either Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, based on the nature and the qualities and the work that they perform. But by default, everybody is a born Shudra in Kali Yuga. So it says Janma Jayate Shudra. So by birth, you are a Shudra, and then you have to qualify yourself to become either a Brahmana or a Kshatriya or a Vaishya or a Shudra. Shudra, you don't need a qualification.
Okay. So, like in today's context, like if one would like to get into this Brahmana category, as you rightly mentioned, it is all about mix and max about these duties you generally perform or try to plan for the next generation's kids as well. So, and you rightly also said that by birth one is Shudra, right? So, but generally, if you see practically, it is all mix and match. Some qualities from Brahmana, some qualities from Sudras, Vaishyas. That's where it is in practical. So, how we could see you will attach to only one categories of Varnashram.
Yes, Prabhu. That's what ISKCON is doing, right? It is trying to. Prabhupada always says that is why we are creating Brahmanas. We are creating Vaishnavas, but Prabhupada, when he's talking to general public, he says that is what we are trying to do. We are trying to build a class of men who can be an example for the other class to say, oh, is this how you have to live a proper sinless life? So you need to grow or educate one class of people to Brahmana, and you cannot make the whole world Brahmana. Because by nature, Krishna says guna karma vibhaga. Everybody has got one nature, and you just have to use them based on their natural characters. If somebody has got the qualities of Brahmana, then train him to become a Brahmana. Somebody has got the qualities of a Vaishya, then train him to be a proper Vaishya. Protecting the cows, and there are some. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, what are the qualities of a Brahmana? What are the qualities of a Kshatriya, Vaishya? So we just have to make sure Prabhupada says it's a responsibility of the government to make sure that a Brahmana is actually a Brahmana, a Kshatriya is actually a Kshatriya, a Vaishya is actually doing the work of a Kshatriya, of a Vaishya. So if we can do that and identify, the knowledge is available, and whoever is interested in whatever line they want to, they can actually choose and do that.
Okay, Prabhuji. Because if you see the real teaching, or the way one actually go through his child career or educations, the patterns will go through. Generally, all the universities or colleges or schools, they probably create Sudras by default. If you see that, right, Prabhu?
Correct. By default, sure. Yes, that's right.
Okay, so because that generally gives some, earning probably. That's where the ecosystem has been designed, because through that education you can, can live independently, or you can earn. Actually, earn is the quote probably you can see if you go through the from Eden Gardens to the top universities.
Mm.
So if you think like the kids to be on the Brahminin categories or to promote towards that, though you have born as a Sudras,
Mm.
so apart from these studies, like, I mean, you can't skip these studies, isn't it, Prabhu?
Prabhu, you know, there are a lot of people in Mayapur Gurukula, no? They are all not studying all these things. So it basically depends on what we want our kids to do. If we feel that our kids should do good studies, do engineering, side by side, give them Krishna consciousness also, so that they can decide if they really want to go that path or this path, then yes, let's do that. But there are parents who have completely convinced that this is not going to help, material studies is not going to help, and that is why they are putting them in Gurukulas in Mayapur and New Dwaraka and all those places. They're just sending the kids, and the kids are learning only Shastras. Of course, they are learning a little bit of science and social studies, because for preaching it will actually help. But priority is actually given to scriptural studies only. They are reading Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, etc. So it just depends on the parents what exactly you want to do with your kid. But if you think that let him, I don't want to take a risk, there is a possibility that it may not work out, so let him do whatever he wants to in his life. But at the same time, my job is to give him that Krishna consciousness, and then he can decide in the end what exactly he wants to do.
Haribol, Prabhu. Yes,
Hmm.
I think this is well little practical and
Practical, yeah.
yes. Okay. All right. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you very much. To connect with the philosophy, the real world problems. And let's see if we have any question from anyone.
Okay, we are 16 past 9.
And announcement then? Yeah, I think you don't have any questions now.
Hmm.
Any announcement from Chaitanya Prabhu or Pratamaya Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you for a very nectarian class, Prabhuji. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, we have Birmingham 24-hour Kirtan coming up in the long weekend, May long weekend, first weekend. So we would advise if any of the devotees haven't booked their tickets. Tickets are free, but I think that is needed for Prashadam and logistics. So please ensure that you book your tickets and make your accommodation arrangements as well. So many of the devotees are staying overnight for the 2 days program. So it will really blissful to join along with the devotees. Yeah, and we'll have also Narsim Chaturdasi coming up in the next month. So, but before that, for today, we have allotment services opened. Please try to participate in today's allotment service. And lastly, like Pratap Prabhu announced yesterday, Vyas Puja celebrations for Jaipatak Swami Guru Maharaj are scheduled for next Saturday, 10 to 1 p.m. in Spencer's Road Village Hall. If anyone of the well-wishers or disciples would like to, please participate and offer their obeisances, please get in touch with us, and there'll be registration form as well for this. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Just to add, Prabhuji rightly said, Birmingham booking if anyone wants. Now that like the stay, like Lord's cost is also quite low. So if you wanted to stay, then probably you can see. And I think the nearby UN city is in the costs are going low at this point of time. Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhu, you meant that there are very few places available, right? So we all have to be quick in booking the accommodations. That's what you meant, right?
That is Prabhu.
Yeah. They're all getting sold out accommodations. So please try to book it the earliest. That's what is Prabhu has advised. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for a blissful morning program. Yeah.
पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो
ये सत्यनाथ प्रभु की
जय
Jai. Hari Bol.
हरि बोल।